Hello everyone. Previously we had discussed about the recursive types. So we also saw the examples for that, right? So today we'll be discussing about the polymorphic this type. So the polymorphic this type basically helps the methods return the type of the current class. Also supporting the fluent interfaces in the interface hierarchies, right? So this is simple. So again I'm telling the polymorphic this type, this helps the methods return the type of the current class, supporting the fluent interfaces in inheritance hierarchies, right? Initially, let's see with the example. Let's try to implement the same thing with the example, right? So initially, let's see the example. I mean, Fluent API. Fluent API with this type. So let's go with the chain methods using the polymorphic this, right? So I'll quickly come here. So I'll just give here class. I'll just name the class builder. Within this, I'll just consider private parts. So here I'll just give here parts, which is of the string in the array, right? This one I'll just assign this one to the empty array. And let me make use of add part method where part, let's pass the part as parameter, which will be of the type string. Let's make use of this here. So this parts dot push of part. So here finally let's return this, right? So we are making use of this keyword. So I'll just return here this in this case. So let's make use of the build method here, which is of the type string here. So inside the build, let's return something. We have to return something, right? I'll just return here this dot parts dot join. So here within the strings, so I'll just pass this one, right? So I'll just come out of this one, come out of this class basically. So what I'll do, I'll quickly consider builder and let me give here new builder. This is fine. Finally, let's log here within console log. Let me give here builder dot add part. Here I'll just pass something within the strings. I'll just give here base in my case. You can give anything. I have just given base. So add part. So part we are giving here walls, right? So this is fine. And finally, let's go with the build here. So we know output that we need to get here is base walls right here. So I'll quickly explain what I've done here. Then let's try to run the code, right? So what I have done here is the add part, this one. Add part method uses this type to return the current object. You can clearly see here this one I'm speaking of. Add part method uses this type here. Clearly see here this one. So basically this one I'm speaking of. Add part method uses this type to return the current object, right? We can clearly see here. And also this allows chaining multiple calls very fluently. So again I'm telling the add part method, this one here, this uses this type to return the current object, which helps him chaining multiple calls fluently, right? So the output that we need to get here is base walls, right? So let me this one let's give here. Let's try to run the code here. So here you can clearly see we are getting the output base walls, which is absolutely correct. So I hope the concept of Fluent API with this type is completely clear. Nothing but I hope the concept of polymorphic this type is completely clear. So next we'll be discussing about the unknown versus any, right? So for now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.